Thank you.
Mike, from one great Michigan running back to another, what do you think Blake's legacy is going to be at Michigan when he's done?
He's one of the best backs of all time. He's got the leading touchdown record. And then I just think in big games, the way he plays, the way he just takes over the game, and the kind of person he is. I mean, off the field, on the field, the type of leader he is. I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it, and he'll always be in that conversation.
Trevor Keegan said that he could see it in Blake's eyes during overtime. I guess what did you see from him leading up to that overtime, and obviously the big run?
Yeah, I think the big thing is he wanted the ball, and he wanted that game bad, and he wanted the ball to be in his hands because he knew he'd do something to make a play. And he did it. I mean, it was a heck of a run. And like 2 runs in overtime that were just awesome. And O-line did a great job. Everybody did a great job, but he's just special.
You coached with a lot of these guys in the of Indiana, and Michael Penix as well.
Yeah.
What was that experience like in Indiana 2019-20, those 2 years?
Yeah, I think we had a really, really good staff, and they're all really, really good friends of mine. From obviously Kalen DeBoer, who's the head coach. I mean, his kitchen table's in my house. Yeah, my wife bought it from him when they were moving out to Fresno. So, but just a great man, great family man, great leader. Then you go to Nick Sheridan. Nick Sheridan is one of my best friends. I mean, we obviously coached together for a while. We played together here. And he's just a phenomenal human being as well. I mean, they're just good people. Ryan Grubb, really, really good person. William Inge on defense, the linebacker coach. It's a great human. So it doesn't surprise me that they're having the success they have because of the type of people they are and the way they care about their players, having worked with most of them.
When you think about where Blake Corum was a year from now, or a year late, where it was last year to this point, just what has his journey been like in the eyes of you?
Yeah, I mean, I think last year he wasn't playing at this time. He got hurt against Illinois late in the season. Missed the Ohio State game, missed the Big Ten championship, missed the CFP. And I think at this point last year, the question was he going to come back or not for another year? And he made that decision to come back, and it paid off for him. Just really, really happy for the success he's been able to have coming back from that injury and just leading his team the way he does. I asked him, I thought he was crazy. I said, "You're coming back again?" He said, "Yeah." He said he wanted to. So I think that he really cares about Michigan. He loved this team. He wanted to come back and win the national championship. And he's got one more to go.
You were mentioning Kalen and Nick, but you also knew Michael Penix before the rest of the country did. What stood out about him as an underclassman, and what do you think made him the player he is now?
I mean, obviously, I love Mikey, man. Same thing with him, 2 ACLs. I see him go through a lot of injuries, but you always knew how talented he was, We had him, we had Tuttle, we had AJ. I mean, there's a lot of people on these 2 teams that know each other and have coached together. And I mean, but he's got a cannon for an arm, man, and you see it, you watch it. Doesn't surprise me that he was runner-up for the Heisman. Just really, really, again, just happy for him to be able to come back from those injuries. I mean, he's from Florida, go all the way to the West Coast and have the success he had. I think him and Blake are almost a little bit similar where he decided to come back again too when he could have left. And just good people, great leader. How you doing?
How are you?
Good. Yeah, you get the questions, and I mean, you answer them away. I mean, I don't know where anybody's going to be next year, right? I don't know where anybody's going to be tomorrow. I don't know where I'm going to be. I can't, you know what I mean? And I've changed jobs a lot too in my career, so I think that you're just upfront and honest with them. And like I always tell them, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of rumors. There's some stuff's true, some stuff's false. I mean, I just go day by day, and we'll figure it out. And the one thing about the kids that we recruit is they're coming to Michigan for Michigan, right? For the program, for the academics, for the history, for the tradition. The kids that come here love Michigan, and we always said as I was here, Michigan's never been ran by one man, not one coach, not one player. Michigan always finds a way to have success, so I think that no matter what happens, no matter what the future holds, we'll be just fine.
Why is this year different? I mean, you got to a certain point last year, right? You got farther this year. What was different about this year's team? Was it the obstacles?
I think that they're really resilient, and I think when you have leaders, you lose back-to-back CFPs 2 times in a row in the semis, and they all came back with the same mindset. I've never seen a team just talk about the national championship all the time. I've always been one of those guys who win one game before the next game, and these guys, every time at the end of practice, they're like, we're winning the national championship. We're winning the national championship. From Blake to JJ to Chris Jenkins, to Junior Colston. We have a lot of really, really good leaders on this team, and that's what makes them special. Because you win with the guys. Those guys have all been here. They've been through it. They've won. They've lost. But they're really, really resilient group, and it just starts with the leadership.
I wanted to go back to that 2020 Indiana season last year together.
Yep, we beat Michigan that year. Yes, we did.
Those 6-2, you don't get into the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
You change the rule to what Ohio State. What do you remember by that feeling at that time?
Yeah, obviously, you're highly, highly upset. I think it's funny because Jack Tuttle was just talking about it because he was on that team as well. And the rules are the rules. You can't win everything. You can't change everything. But we had a special team that year, and you never just forget the success that we had, and the players on that team were just awesome human beings as well. So obviously, we thought that we got screwed a little bit, but it doesn't matter now. I always tell people we should have beat Ohio State that year if we wanted to go.
So 14 playoff, 12 team next year. Do you ever think back to your playing career and saying, man, in 2006 we had a 14 playoff, I might have another ring on my finger?
No, that's a long year. I didn't think about those things back then, to be honest. Now don't really. I've really never thought about that before. I just think it's amazing the way college football has changed. It used to just be the bowl games. It used to just be the Rose Bowl, right, that you wanted to go to with the Big Ten championship at Michigan. And now, you got a million kids opting out if they're not in the CFP games. You got guys that aren't playing for their teams anymore in the bowl games. So at 12, you're getting towards the NFL model of playoffs, and everybody's going to have an opportunity. There's going to be more teams in there next year that deserve it. I think everybody knows what happened to Florida State this year. There's no way they shouldn't have had an opportunity to play for a national championship and prove themselves. So next year, those things, it's going to be the 13th team now that complains, right? So there's always going to still be people complaining, but it does give, I think there's a little more parity now with all those teams being, having 12 teams and giving them all a chance.
Mike, Coach Harbaugh said that JJ is the greatest quarterback in the history of Michigan football, in his opinion. I'm just curious, from your standpoint, what are the dynamics that allow Coach Harbaugh to say something like that about a guy who's still playing, and also for him to take it the right way? And that's not something you can tell every player in when they're still in the middle of their career.
Yeah, I think the maturity that JJ shows, and he understands that the work's never done, and he understands how great he wants to be. He understands the opportunity he has to go down as the greatest quarterback in Michigan history. I think Jim says that because Jim truly believes it, and JJ McCarthy is a special player, throwing the ball leadership-wise, running the ball around. So I think that he's going to go down as one of the best quarterbacks in history, without a doubt. Especially, he's been to 3 CFPs. 3 Big Ten championships as a starting quarterback. There's not many quarterbacks in Michigan history that can say they've done that. So I think that everything Coach says is true, and I think that he will go down as one of the best quarterbacks in Michigan history.
And obviously, when you say that, people bring up the name Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Tom and JJ have a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Just in terms of his ability to take that comparison the right way,
Mm-hmm.
do you think it motivates him? Do you think it inspires him? I'm curious what your thoughts are there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he loves the pressure. He loves those. He loves being compared to that because he knows he has to show up and work every day. It's just who he is. It's just every day, the work, the studying, the game plan, coming in, telling coach what plays he likes, what plays he doesn't like. The maturity I've seen over him the last 3 years and the leadership he has on his team. I think that his head is always equal. I mean, it's always even. You know, he doesn't get too high, he doesn't get too low. He can make a mistake and bounce right back, or he can have tons of success and still be the same person every day. So, really, really special kid, and he's obviously one of those reasons that we're in this game.
And Mike, you mentioned earlier about the 12-team playoff, opt-outs with the 4-team playoff. Do you ever envision somewhere in the future where kids would actually opt out, and even if they are in the playoff and not playing the playoff? Do you think we're ever going to get to that point?
Yeah, I think anything is possible, right? I think when you have guys that, I think January 20th is the game next year. I think 20th or 21st is the national title game. So you got guys who are going to be playing 3-4 more games who are trying to get ready for the draft, right? It might just feel like their best opportunity is just to opt out and get ready for the next level. Hopefully, guys don't do that to their teammates, but you just never know anymore. And I think that most people, they want to win, and so we'll see. But I think there's definitely a chance it ends up happening. Yeah, I mean, it is to me. I understand why some of the players do it, but I've always just had that mindset of, you're with this team, finish with your team, But I think that's more of an old school, right, thought process, where now it's about me, It's about, well, I don't want to play in this game when I can get hurt, when it really. It's no benefit to me playing in it. So I see why they do it. I just want it's just hard for me to understand, like, doing that to your teammates who you've been working with so hard, so long to have success.
Mike, how are you?
What's up, man?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
When last season ended and JJ said, I promise we'll be back, a lot of players came back, did you think it would lead to this point, and what obstacles did you see that you were concerned whether or not you'd be back at this point?
Yeah, I think anytime you go into the off season, you question, okay, do we have enough players here? Do we have enough players here? Is the line coming? Who's going to play tackle? How's everything going to work out? So I think that we knew we had the core set of guys that came back, who were leaders, who've been in these games before. But I think there's also youth. It was like, who is Ladarius going to turn out to be Ladarius to be a first team All Big Ten left tackle? When you lose a kid that started for 3 years here. So I think that those things, there are always questions in your mind, and that's why you go through spring ball, that's why you go through fall camp. And I think I knew we had the leadership to do it. I knew we had enough skill players to do it. I just think that we had to go out there and prove it in the big games.
Mike, I walked in on the tail end when you were talking about your crossover with the Washington coaches.
Yes.
Kalen DeVore's table.
Yeah. Kalen's
Can you talk about it? I missed that.
So obviously he was, when he got the job at Fresno, he didn't want to move everything. So my wife loved his table, so she bought it from him, and it's still in my house right now. It's a good table.
And what's your crossover? What's your crossover with the other coaches?
So Kalen, we coached at Eastern Michigan and Indiana together. That's the coolest thing about even my youngest daughter's name's Kaylin, and not after him though, not after him. But we didn't know if we were gonna have a boy or a girl, so my wife wanted a name that went both ways, and I said Kaylin. She was like, "There's no boys named Kaylin," and I just had to show her a picture of the boy, and then he ended up coming to Indiana, so it was pretty funny. But Nick Sheridan's one of my best friends, tight end coach. We played here together, and we still talk all the time. Ryan Grubb, I worked with him at Eastern Michigan for a couple weeks till I left. William Inge, the linebacker coach, great human being. We coached at Indiana together. The receiver coach Shepard, we've coached against each other forever. He was at Purdue for a while, so know him really well. Their GA, Shaq Van, I recruited to Eastern Michigan. He's one of the GAs on the team, so just know a lot of them, know a lot of the guys there, and really good friends. Not just know each other, really. I mean, we really enjoy being around each other. We always talk. Wouldn't be happier playing anybody else than these guys in the national championship.
Do you think you have any unique insight to that coaching staff that others might not have?
No, not really. I think they all show up. They do their job. Our offenses are kind of similar as far as the way we shift motion, all those things. So I think that I know they're going to have a heck of a game plan against our defense and their offense. Their defense is going to have a good game plan against us, and they'll let the players play, and we'll see what happens.
How much was the table?
I don't know how much she paid, honestly. I hope he gave me a deal on it.
Mike, so you had Penix for a year? When you were there?
I was with Penix for 3 years, at Indiana, yeah.
Are you surprised that this has happened? You had him, obviously had that breakout year in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of player did you think he'd be?
I mean, you knew right away his freshman year when he got there how special he was, and the way he threw the ball, and the way he moved, and how cerebral he was, and just he understands football. He understands the game, and I'm really, really happy for him. I mean, 2 ACLs, shoulder surgeries, and injuries, and to come back and play the way he's played and leading the team the way he's leading it, it's not a surprise at all.
What kind of kid is he? I mean, he's told many outlets that he was close to giving up the game, the injuries wearing on him. It's a perfect landing spot. Almost thank God for the transfer portal, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I keep saying it, but just has always been a great leader. He's not selfish. He's always about the team. He works his tail off, and so I think that sometimes when you have a lot of success and all of a sudden you got back-to-back ACLs, I think that you just start questioning, is it worth it? You know, can I do this again? Do I want to do this again? But I think he's so resilient, and he decided to do it. He believed in that staff out at Washington, and they did a great job with him.
What's Jim like as a coach, week to week, day to day? How often does he duck in on your meetings? I'm just trying to get an idea of what he does to keep you guys so great.
So he's involved in everything we do. He pops in, tells us when we do things wrong, tells us when we do things right, and he's the same every day. He's going to be first one in the office and the last one out, and we know how hard he works, and so we really just don't want to let him down, and we try to bring that same energy, that same effort every single day.
And one more question. You're the ultimate Michigan man among others. Describe the longing Michigan has to get to this spot and to win the national championship. You've been right in the trenches.
Yeah, I think that we've been close. We've had good teams. Just haven't put it all together since '97. And I think that anytime you've had that long of a drought, it's such a great tradition of a football program. We need it. We want it. We're going to go get it.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Good. Everybody good? All right. Thank you.